welcome back to News Geelong. We return to the world of football at state level, interviewing Geelong VFL player Matt Sully following his best on-ground performance against Frankston.
From last year, Matt Sully, of course, Newtown and Chilwell. This year you've stepped up and it looks like you're there to stay.
Yeah, no, it's good to be playing a few consistent games, I suppose, with Andrew McLean, the regular VFL guy from last year, moving back to St Mary's. It sort of filled a spot, and yeah, I'm glad I've come up and holding it for the time being, which is good.
And of course the team's flying as well, so that's just an added impetus, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like when the team's going up, when the midfield's going as well as it is, it makes it easier on us back line. So no, it's good to having a few wins. It's been good.
Slightly restructured side, but plenty of familiar names around you again this year.
Yeah, no, it's like Piers Flanagan was a new guy, and he's fit in straight away and just playing really good footy. And yeah, it's having leaders like Troy and Dom Gleeson, those sort of blokes that just, yeah, it's really good for your development, and yeah, it's really good for the whole team.
Well, I remember last year, of course, we got hold of Dom when the Werribee match was coming up, because he played so many games with them and obviously has friends there. And I guess Dom will also be giving you a helping hand at the Sim Stadium. I think it is on Saturday morning, isn't it?
Yeah, we play a big game against Werribee this week, and it's obviously big games for Dom. I think he's a games record holder there, and yeah, he'll do his thing, play the same way, and no, it'll be good to see.
Yeah, look, the team is going extremely well, and you mentioned Piers Flanagan here as a Newtown supporter. We're hoping we might see him play for Newtown and Chilwell sometime this year, but he also is showing good form with the VFL, and I don't think it's going to be any time soon.
Yeah, no, he's been playing really good footy. Yeah, he just runs and creates. He's got a lovely left foot, and yeah, it'd be good to play with him back at Newtown. I think we've got a bye coming up in a couple of weeks against St Mary's, which would be a good game. So hopefully we're both right to play then. So yeah, it should be good.
Thanks for that, Matt. If there's been one team more successful than Geelong's VFL team this year, it's been Geelong's AFL team. News Geelong caught up with Chris Scott this week as he aims for his 6th consecutive win.
Yeah, I'll try to work my way through it, and you can fill in any gaps that I miss. So Hawkins, we're very confident, should be available, although he hasn't trained yet this week, but feels pretty good, so I'd expect him to play. Chapman, the same. Jared Rivers, unfortunately, is worse than we first thought. Makes a little bit of sense now, given that the medical staff thought it was a slight medial, but it was more painful than they would expect with that sort of injury. So he's going to miss at least a few weeks, maybe more, which is unfortunate. He's had a bad run. It's the same knee as he injured in round 1, but in a different spot. So, all right, now you've got to fill in the gaps.
Had he had that concussion?
Yeah, we're still taking our time to assess him. He hasn't done much, but we're scheduled to train today, and assuming that he'll do at least part of that session.
Just with Rivers, is that so it's a medial and maybe a bit of structural damage as well? Or?
No, it's a little bit of cartilage damage this time. Yeah, so I'll explain it as well as I possibly can. He had a slight PCL strain round 1. They thought it was a medial this time, but his medial ligament's fine. There's just some cartilage damage that potentially will need to be repaired, but we haven't made a decision on exactly what process we'll go through there.
Were the two connected, or the injury, or this is just completely?
No, both completely isolated. So this one was very much a bad luck thing in the contest. There were some replays shown on TV that weren't the actual incident. It was a separate one to that. Yeah, well, played 55% game time or thereabouts, and moved pretty well, and has pulled up pretty well, but I can't be definitive yet because we need to wait and see how he trains. Walking around and feeling good is a bit different to training and feeling good, so assuming that he is feeling good, then he'll play a little bit more game time at VFL level this week, and continue that for the next month or so, and then we'll reassess.
What do you make of Richmond's first 5 weeks? A good 3 and 2, and not lucky. What do you reckon?
Oh no, we rate them as a good team. Yeah, certainly a finals team. We would rate them in the top half of the ladder at this stage of the season, and probably closer to the top half of that than the bottom. Their best players are exceptional and hard to curtail, and their best footy this year in games I would have thought was as good as anyone's. So last week was a very good performance really against a team in Freo over in Perth that's as hard to beat as anyone. So yeah, we'll be treating them with the respect they deserve.
Controversial ending to that game in Perth. Did you have a view on that, and what's your broader thoughts on the goal review system as it stands?
I think I heard Mark Evans talk about it during the week, and I thought he made a lot of sense. He's probably contradicted to an extent by others, but I thought his rationale that it's something we need to keep looking at and keep trying to get better is pretty sound.
Yeah, but do you agree that the current system should stay while they look for something better?
Yeah, I do. I mean, my understanding of the current system is that it was brought in to eradicate the real howlers. So if the technology could help, then they'd use it. No, I don't think anyone ever said that this will fix all the mistakes made around the goal line. I mean, it's incredibly difficult to do, and I think people make a lot of sense when they say, or at least ask the question, should the goal umpires be in the field of play? Should they be impeding balls that could potentially go over the goal line? And I'm not saying they should, I'm just saying it's worthy of discussion.
Did you see the Billy Smiths kick on goal and thought, well, it's a goal and get the shock of your life when you see the point signal?
No, I didn't. I've since looked at it, but I'm sure all coaches' boxes are different, but when there are those sort of things going on, we tend to move on with the stuff we've got to get done and don't worry too much about the replays. So, I mean, in retrospect, that was probably a decision where I thought you could use upstairs, and I thought that's why it was brought in. When there's a real howler, when it's clear that a mistake's been made, you can radio down from upstairs and say, you've got to have a look at that. They didn't. But look, I don't have a huge problem with it. I mean, I actually didn't have a huge problem when Sharad Wellingham hit the post in the 2011 Grand Final and was paid a goal. I mean, mistakes happen. We've got to live with mistakes. It's when, in retrospect, people come out and say, no, we haven't made a mistake, that I have a problem.
Would you like to see the from upstairs go downstairs rather than the umpires calling for it on the ground? That the umpire control box goes, hey, hang on, we've had a look at it. We want to have another look at it on video, and we think we can change this.
I think that'd be a better system. I think that makes sense. Yeah, good idea, Tom.
Thanks for that, Chris. And that's it for sport this Friday evening. Back to you, Rollo.
Thank you, Alex, and enjoy your weekend, Saturday and Sunday, out and about watching the great game of local footy, which is real footy. And thank you for being with us on News Geelong this evening. Don't miss the GDFL netball program tomorrow morning at 8 a.m, followed by the GDFL footy show featuring Digital Dick, along with gentleman Eric Nichols and a special guest commentator, Tom King. More than suitable replacement for the little insect grubbications. You never know, it may be the end for Grubby. Watch this space. On a sad note, we sincerely pass on our condolences to the Clay family at Torquay on the tragic loss of your husband, father and friend, Matt Clay, taken from us too early and under tragic circumstances. Our thoughts and prayers are with you at this most important time. To all, as we say each week, take your time and smell the flowers. From all the team at News Geelong, have a safe and enjoyable week ahead. We will return next Friday night at 6 with more news from our great city. Enjoy the Mighty Cats and its 5th win of the season over Richmond at the G tomorrow night. Until then, have a very good night.